vFabric Data Director is the database virtualization and lifecycle management platform that enables IT to manage database infrastructure efficiently and deliver database as a service. The latest release supports SQL Server and Hadoop in addition to Oracle and vPostgres. When you log in as an administrator, you're presented with a dashboard that shows detailed information about resource usage, number of databases, health of the system, etc. As an admin, you can create organizations to logically group resources. For example, you can group resources based on business units like marketing and finance, and you can also group it based on the importance of the database. The resources are allocated using resource bundles, which contain CPU, memory, disk, and network. The other key capability is the ability to standardize your database environment using templates. Data Director makes it very easy to create an Oracle or SQL Server template from scratch. To create a template, you create a base VM. The base VM will contain the base image with operating system and database binaries installed. You can create the base VM by simply pointing to the setup ISO file for the OS and the database. You can customize the base VM as needed and convert it into a template which will be used for provisioning the database. As you can see, I have created 4 different templates, one for Oracle, one for vPostgres, and another one for SQL Server. Once the templates have been created, you can also set policies at different levels. Using resource templates, you can enable HA with a single click. And you can also set reservation policies using resource templates. Backup templates allow you to create backup policies like when a snapshot should be taken or a backup should be taken. These policies can be applied when you provision a database. Once the environment has been set, you can connect to an organization to provision a database. Access to organization is controlled using role-based access control. Within the organization, the dashboard provides an aggregated view and a granular view of resource usage within the organization. Provisioning a database is a breeze with Data Director. Using one interface, you can provision different kinds of databases. In this release, Data Director supports Oracle, SQL Server, and vPostgres. Once you've selected the database template, you can do a few things. You can size your VM using the resource template that you created, size the storage or size of the database, and also configure the database parameters. In this particular case, you can configure the sp-configure parameter for SQL Server. For SQL Server, you can also join the VM to a domain, and once joined, you can pick a domain user to be a sysadmin for the machine and SQL Server. Finally, you can set expiration policies for the database, which helps with controlling VM sprawl. Now, with a few clicks, you are able to provision a standalone SQL Server within a few minutes. Once you provision the database, Data Director supports a number of tasks that make it easy to manage the database. For example, you can take a backup or snapshot with a single click. Data Director uses vSphere capabilities to take a database consistent backup. The simplicity of the process makes it very easy for developers and testers to take a backup without getting the DBA involved. The other key use case that Data Director enables is the ability to quickly create copies of databases. Data Director can take a full clone or a storage-efficient link clone. Here I am creating a link clone, and when I create the link clone, I can change the deployment parameters when you clone the database. For example, I can resize the VM when I clone the database. More importantly, you can configure post-clone scripts that will automatically execute when a user clones a database. This helps with scenarios like data masking and compliance, and helps IT ensure that all the databases are in a compliant mode. Data Director also streamlines patching by enabling patch updates using templates. Now, with a single click, you can apply a patch across one or more databases. The other key scenario Data Director supports is database ingestion. If a dev or test environment requires a refresh from production, you can ingest a copy of the production database and have the copy created very quickly within the dev or test environment. Data Director supports one-time clone and golden clone, which makes creation of copies very efficient. The input for ingestion is the Oracle RMAN backup set. Apart from the capabilities that I just talked about, Data Director supports another important scenario. Support for Hadoop provisioning and management is another key feature in the 2.5 release of Data Director. Now you can register a Hadoop management server, which is the enterprise version of the Serengeti open source project. To register as a server, you connect to the IP address of the management server, and once registered, you can connect to the management console. To connect to the management console, you right-click on the management server and click on Open Web Console. Once you open the web console, as you can see, it lists the clusters that have been created. Data Director makes it very easy to provision a Hadoop cluster. You click on Create Cluster, you give the cluster a name, and you specify the number of nodes that you want to provision for the different node groups. For example, you specify the number of worker nodes, and you can also specify the number of client nodes. You can also size a VM corresponding to each of these nodes. The other important aspect of Data Director is that Data Director supports all the major distros for Hadoop, for example, Hortonworks, Cloudera, etc. Data Director can provision a Hadoop cluster within a few minutes. Once you provision the cluster, you can view the status of the HDFS and MapReduce jobs, and also scale out the cluster. For more information on how to run MapReduce jobs and additional capabilities of Data Director, please visit our website. Thank you.